Hi everyone, welcome back to Azure Every Day. My name is Brad Gall here with PragmaticWorks, and today we're going to talk about Azure Data Lake and do an introduction to Azure Data Lake. So here at PragmaticWorks, we talk to a lot of customers about their data strategies and their cloud data strategies specifically. And one tool in our toolbox for handling data architectures would be Azure Data Lake. So I just want to introduce what that is today, some of the benefits of that, and just jump right into that. So Azure Data Lake is really a big data solution. So it's a Microsoft platform as a service, big data solution running on Azure. So what that gives you then is the ability to handle large volumes of data. So compared to something like a SQL database, this is going to be able to handle larger amounts of data more easily. It's also going to be able to handle unstructured data. So we can handle CSV files and flat files and log files and all those type of things that don't have structure to them and process them through the Azure Data Lake service. Now, Azure Data Lake actually consists of two different resources within Azure, two different services. The first is actually Azure Data Lake Store. So Azure Data Lake Store is where the data resides. So we can spin this up actually and just have it run on its own. It's a fully HDFS compliant file system. And the other benefit of it is that it is Azure Active Directory integrated. So we can secure our data, secure our hierarchies within the file structures we set up there with Azure Active Directory, which is a great bonus. Now the second piece of Azure Data Lake would be Azure Data Lake Analytics. So Azure Data Lake Analytics is really the compute piece of a big data solution. So this would be, again, the separation of storage and compute. This is a common theme that we see within Azure. And so with the Azure Data Lake Analytics, this is where we process jobs and process data and do our transformations on our data. So we create our views here. We run scripts to pull data into new files and migrate data around, things like that. And the benefit of running Azure Data Lake Analytics versus maybe some of the other big data platforms we have available to us is that it actually uses a language called USQL. Now, USQL is proprietary to Microsoft, but the benefit of that is actually based off of T-SQL, and I actually call it like a mashup of T-SQL and C#. So we utilize a lot of functions and syntax that we use within C#, but we use it within the context of like a T-SQL statement, and they call this USQL. So the benefit there that we get is that we don't have to maybe learn some of the languages that are common within the open source big data platforms like Pig and Hive and Scala and Spark, those type of things, Python. We can just run them with maybe some of the skill sets we already have in-house and take advantage of some big data capabilities. So again, we talked to a lot of customers about this, how we integrate these into their overall data architectures and where big data might fit into your data strategy. If you'd like to talk to us more about that, definitely feel free to reach out to us. Click one of the links below, and we'd be happy to talk about it. Thanks.